Most people spend 30 to 40 years grinding away at a job they tolerate, saving into a 401k they barely understand, just hoping that by the time they're 65, there's enough left to actually live on. I did it in under 10 years, and Bitcoin is the reason why. But I'm not going to tell you to just buy Bitcoin and wait. That's not a plan, that's a gamble. What I'm going to show you today is the exact system I built, step by step, that tells you how much you need to retire, where to put it, and how to pull it out without getting crushed by taxes or penalties. Let's get into it. Here's the problem with conventional retirement advice. It was built for a world where your money grows at 7 to 10% per year. That assumption is baked into every retirement calculator, every financial advisor's spreadsheet, every 401k projection you've ever looked at. But Bitcoin has averaged closer to 40 to 50% annually over its entire history. Even the conservative slow it down projections put future growth at around 20% per year. So when you go to one of those popular retirement calculators online, most of them won't even let you enter a return higher than 15%. If you're a Bitcoin holder trying to plan your future, you're essentially flying blind. The old rules don't fit, the timelines are too long, the withdrawal rates are too low, and the account structures can actually trap your money when you need it most. We need a completely different framework, and that's exactly what I'm walking you through today. Before we touch any numbers, you need to get clear on what you actually want. Not vague stuff like, I want to be rich. I mean specific, concrete answers to 4 questions. 1. How much do I want to spend per year in retirement? 2. What age do I want to retire? 3. How much do I have saved right now? 4. How much do I actually need? These 4 questions become the filter for every financial decision you make from this point forward. When I went through this exercise myself, especially after my wife and I found out we were expecting our first child, it completely changed how I thought about money. Suddenly, I wasn't just trying to stack as much Bitcoin as possible. I had a target. And having a target gives you 2 things: clarity on what you need, and freedom to spend on the things that actually matter without the guilt. So write these down, get real answers. Everything else in this video builds on top of them. Okay, let's get into the math. First up, your forever number. This is the amount you need sitting in tax-advantaged retirement accounts to become Roth IRA, self-directed IRA, or 401k by the time you hit 59 and a half. That's the age when the IRS lets you pull money out without penalties. In traditional planning, there's something called the 4% rule. You multiply your annual spending by 25, and that's your retirement number. It works fine if your money grows at 7% a year. But with Bitcoin growing at a projected 20% annually, we can use an 8% withdrawal rate instead. That cuts the multiplier from 25 down to 12 and a half, which means you need roughly half as much saved. Here's the formula, and it's simpler than it sounds. Step 1. Start with how much you want to spend per year in today's dollars. Step 2. Grow that number at 3% per year all the way until you hit 59 and a half. That accounts for inflation. Step 3. Multiply that number by 12 and a half. That final number is your forever number. Let's run through a real example. Say you're 36 years old. You want to spend $156,000 per year in retirement, and you currently have $100,000 in Bitcoin inside a retirement account. You have 23 and a half years until 59 and a half. $156,000 grown at 3% for 23 and a half years comes out to around $312,000. Multiply that by 12 and a half. Your forever number is $3.9 million. Now, how much do you need today to hit that? At 20% annual growth over 23 and a half years, your growth multiplier is 1.2 to the power of 23 and a half. That comes out to approximately 98. So you divide 3.9 million by 98. You need about $40,000 saved today for your retirement accounts to be fully funded by 59 and a half. You have $100,000. You're ahead. Move on to the next step. If you're short, subtract what you have and work backward to find your required monthly contribution. The calculator linked below does all of this for your exact numbers. But the point is this: the earlier you start, the more Bitcoin's compounding does the heavy lifting. Every dollar you put in today is worth nearly 100 times more by the time you hit 59 and a half at 20% growth. That math is working for you. Let it. Now, here's where most early retirement plans completely fall apart, and where I made my biggest mistakes early on. I had too much money locked up in retirement accounts, and if you want to retire early, 40, 45, or 50, you cannot touch that money without a 10% penalty until you're 59 and a half. The window between when you retire early and when retirement accounts unlock, I call that the gap, and you need a completely separate bucket of money to cover that. This gap money has to live in taxable accounts, not retirement accounts. Think Bitcoin held in your own custody or a regular brokerage account. Here's how you calculate what you need. Step 1. Decide when you want to retire and what you'll spend each year. Step 2. Inflate that spending at 3% to your retirement age. Step 3. Figure out how many years sit between early retirement and 59 and a half. That's your gap period. Step 4. Model how much you need in taxable accounts at retirement so that even while you're spending, growth still carries you safely to 59 and a half. Back to our example. Same 36-year-old wants to retire at 50, spending $156,000 today. $156,000 inflated at 3% over 14 years comes out to around $236,000 per year at retirement. Gap period, age 50 to 59 and a half, is 9.5 years. To cover that gap safely, you need approximately $1.3 million in taxable accounts at age 50. To hit $1.3 million by 50, you need around $47,500 today. You only have $25,000. You're $22,500 short. The fix? Saving $347 per month at 27% average growth over 14 years covers the entire gap. That's the number most people never calculate. And because they don't know it, they either trap money in retirement accounts they can't touch early, or they don't save enough in taxable accounts and can't actually retire when they planned. Knowing your gap number fixes both problems. So now you have two targets, your forever number and your gap number. Here's how you organize your money around them. I use a 3-bucket system. Bucket 1, your forever funds. This is your Roth IRA, self-directed IRA, or 401k. Bitcoin lives here for maximum long-term compounding, tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals, and retirement. You touch this last. Bucket 2, your gap funds. This is taxable accounts and self-custody Bitcoin. This covers you from early retirement all the way to 59 and a half. And here's a tax advantage most people overlook. In 2026, if your total income stays below about $65,000 for single filers or $131,000 for married filers, you pay 0% in federal taxes on long-term capital gains. 0. So you can strategically sell your Bitcoin each year, stay under that threshold, and pay nothing to the IRS. Bucket 3, your cash buffer. This is 1 to 2 years of living expenses in cash. The cash buffer is your defense against volatility. Bitcoin will have bad years. It's dropped 70–80% before. It'll happen again at some point. If you're retired and Bitcoin drops 70%, you do not want to be forced to sell at the bottom just to pay your bills. The cash buffer solves that. I spend from cash during downturns, and I refill it when Bitcoin is at or above its fair value, based on something called the Power Law model, which projects Bitcoin's baseline price over time. When Bitcoin is near or above fair value, I top off the cash bucket. When it's down, I sit on my hands and spend from cash. That system alone has saved me from making panic decisions that would have cost me years of compounding. Once you hit your early retirement date, here's exactly how money flows. Phase 1, early retirement before 59 and a half. Spend from cash first. Refill cash from taxable accounts when Bitcoin is near fair value. Let your retirement accounts compound completely untouched. Phase 2, full retirement after 59 and a half. Keep drawing from taxable accounts as long as possible. Delay tapping retirement accounts to maximize tax-free compounding. When taxable accounts run low, shift your retirement accounts to refill the cash bucket. Pull from the Roth last. The Roth has no required minimum distributions. It compounds tax-free as long as you want. And when you pass it to your heirs, they get an additional 10-year window to let it keep growing before they touch it. That's generational wealth, not just early retirement. Here's the full system in one place. 1. Define your goals. Spending, retirement age, what you have now. 2. Calculate your forever number, what you need at 59 and a half. 3. Calculate your gap number, what you need in taxable accounts for early retirement. 4. Fill the 3 buckets: forever funds, gap funds, cash buffer. 5. Withdraw in order: cash first, taxable accounts next, retirement accounts last, Roth absolutely last. And if Bitcoin outperforms the conservative 20% projection I've used throughout this video, you hit these numbers even faster. I'd rather be pleasantly wrong than run out of money. The moment this clicked for me was when I stopped treating Bitcoin like a lottery ticket and started using it as the engine inside a real retirement system. I know where every dollar goes. I know when I can retire. I know how much I can spend without guilt. And I know my family is taken care of even if Bitcoin has a rough year. That's what a real